Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Morning. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Pretty good. How are you?
Morning.
Hey,
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
looks like we have an AI just joined the
Morning.
meeting.
Is that an AI talking? Can you hear me?
Why does it keep repeating the same thing over and over?
Morning. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you? I know there's
Have
some.
an AI just
1 second. Is that an AI talking?
identify the person and quarantine him because that's gonna disturb when they start.
It has stopped, right? Can you hear me?
Morning.
Yeah, morning. It has stopped, right? Oh, I see it. 1 second, guys. Can you hear me?
Hello, I'm listening.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I think now it is. It's not having the echo, right? Can you guys hear the
Right.
echo again?
No.
Yeah, that was because we are also live on Facebook on YouTube. So
YouTube.
yeah, that's why I was doing that. And the YouTube was also open on the same machine. That's why I was doing that. Then now I think we're good to go. Let me
No,
see.
there's no echo.
There's no echo now, right?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, let's just give another 3 more minutes. We're gonna start at
I,
exactly.
I think there's a repetition of what you said, like it keeps going and coming back.
There's a repetition.
Yes.
Is there
There's
anyone
no,
having the same issue? If you open the link,
I think it's okay now.
okay.
I discovered it was my site. I opened on YouTube and
Oh yes,
go,
yes,
you know, at the
yes.
same time. That's why.
If you open on YouTube and they are also here, it's gonna have that issue.
Yeah. Mhm.
Nice, nice, nice. Now we know that everything works. How are we all doing today?
Good engineer this long time.
I know. Is that Engineer Thomas?
You know, engineer Alex.
Engineer
I know
Alex?
from
Uh,
Thailand.
the Kingdom of Thailand, right?
Yes.
You looks like you disappeared sometime.
I discovered that was not in like
The new group of Team 32 was created, so I was there. I couldn't see any other thing in the other groups. Seems like I was picking out as well.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so today is going to be a more of a walkthrough. It's just a regular tradition. We have not started yet, so I'm not recording. Each time you want to learn DevOps, you go by having some introduction, just to walk you through and make sure that everything that you learned is going to be helpful for you in your DevOps journey. Some of you, this is your first time here at the tech. Some of you have been here for some time, but we want to welcome everyone here and just hang tight. We're going to get started in about 2 more minutes.
Hello. Good morning.
Hi, Marius.
Yeah.
How are you?
Pardon?
How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you? Thank you.
Good, good, good. Yeah, make sure you don't join on YouTube and Zoom at the same time. You're going to get the resonance on the back.
Okay, okay, I'll do that. I think it's okay. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Everything is okay.
Okay. Hello.
Yes, Ninja Marian.
Yes, it's my first time, so I want to learn more about.
We are still waiting for others to sign in.
Okay, okay.
Hello? Someone getting me?
Yes, we can
Yes,
hear
we can
you.
hear you. We can hear us, yes.
Okay. Okay. I was not seeing my microphone, so that's why I was silent. Configuration from the back end. No worries.
Mhm.
Okay, guys, so we're gonna get started here. Good morning and welcome to ITech Consulting for those who are new. And for those who are not new, today is a session where you're going to get an introduction and into a proper and formal introduction into DevOps. So that when you're learning here at ITech, you will know exactly why you're here, what you're doing, and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording the session. And once we finish, we always start with our usual prayer. Once we finish to pray, I'm going to introduce myself, and then my colleague is going to introduce himself, and then we are going to get started. Yeah, so Engineer Rudolph, I want to start recording now.
All right, good morning, everyone. Let's bow our heads in prayer before we get started. Our gracious and everlasting Father, Lord, we thank you for this precious day. Many wanted to see this day, but it's not been possible for them. Many passed away last night. Many are sick, they can't even go out, but you've given us the grace to be here today, and most importantly, to be in this webinar. Father, it's not by anything done by us, it's by your own grace. We thank you, Almighty Father, that you give us that same grace to take opportunity of this webinar, that whoever attends this webinar today will not go unchanged, that Almighty Father, they are going to benefit from this webinar. The knowledge that is going to be poured out, Father, we pray that they are going to assimilate it. Father, we also pray, Almighty Father, for those who are behind, who plan to join and that they are running late. Father, we pray that may you hasten their steps to join us, may you hasten their steps, oh God, so that they join on time. Father, we pray for the instructor, that may your grace be upon him, that is going to dish out that knowledge appropriately, and that is going to break it down in ways that we are all going to understand. I pray for all the newcomers, Father. I pray that may you give them that grace and that courage that they've taken, that thing that pushed them to sign up. That I pray that it's going to keep pushing them throughout this course. Father, we pray that you hold their hand. Whenever they get discouraged, we pray that you encourage them. Father, we pray that whenever they feel weak, you give them that strength to keep pushing. You said in your word that if we lack knowledge, we should ask, and you're going to give us that knowledge from above that comes without any condition. Father, we pray for that knowledge this morning. As we cover this platform in the blood of Jesus, we hand you over, Almighty Father, take control and drive us as we go through this seminar. We have a lot to say, Lord, but you know everything. We pray, Almighty Father, that may your perfect will be done. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
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 Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Engineer Rudolph. And we are very glad to have you guys here. And if you have the opportunity to be on video, you can be on video because today is the first contact between you and us for some of you that you've never seen us, you've just been hearing how people talk about tech for your DevOps training. Yeah, so I go by Elvis, right? I am the one of the instructors that you're going to see for this course. And I come in with a a background, right, in many different things, in cloud computing, network engineering, DevOps, application deployment, and a lot of different things that we have to offer for you guys. I've worked with multiple different corporations, from fintech to health tech to e-commerce platform. We built this platform to help transform people like you, to make you understand that you must not be a guru. You must not be a guru to transition from what you do into these record-breaking career movements that people are taking. So if others have done it, you can also do it. So with that said, I'm going to allow my colleague to introduce himself, and then once he's done, we are going to now unfold with the program. You're muted, Engineer Rudolph.
Okay. Thank you, Engineer Elvis. It's been a pleasure working with you. My name is Rudolfo. As you can see on the screen, I am the Chief Operational Officer working alongside with Engineer Elvis to share this knowledge to the African community as well as other people that are interested. I also been working in the IT team in the IT field for a couple of years now. I've been in that field for over 10 years. That's a lot. You can check me out on LinkedIn. I've also worked with different corporations ranging from fintech to e-commerce. So I started my career just like you. Someone taught me and I took it serious. And today I'm eating the fruits of my labor. I've worked with great corporations like Adobe, Sherwin-Williams, Black Knight, you can name them. I've worked with close to 5 different companies. So in my time with them, I've gathered so much knowledge, and I didn't want to be stingy and just keep that knowledge for myself. So we sat together to design a comprehensive course that will take you straight to the point. So what we give you is what we've, learned over the years. We've pondered on it, we've tested, and we've proven that it's working. So we are looking at you as someone who has zero knowledge in IT and want to hold your hand and, teach you how to how to turn on and off your laptop all the way to deploying an application as a microservice. That's why we are here. We are here to serve you if you make yourself available. So don't worry about the money. Don't worry about the time. Just make yourself available. And we are going to transfer this knowledge that we've gathered over the year to you so that, where we are today, you can also be there in future. And why not maybe invite your friends and families to also join you. Thank you, Engineer Elvis, and over to you.
Right. Thank you so much, Engineer Rudolph, for that brilliant introduction. Yeah, so today we want to introduce you into what is called DevOps. What is called DevOps, right? If you take a look at the way the world is going, some people are ignorant. So people, they listen how we talk, and then they're like, okay, those guys, I don't think what they're saying is true. The world is changing rapidly. Things are changing so fast. If you hear how some people complain about how life is difficult or things are not moving, it's because of technology. There's gradual increase in technology, and there's decrease in the need for humans. So the artificial intelligence is eating a larger share of our world economy. Many people, they don't really care about it because probably they don't know, right? They don't believe in it. So you have to make sure that once you get yourself into this course, you have to stay focused. You have to stay steady and focused because at the end of it, you are going to benefit a lot. You're going to benefit a lot. Now, what is DevOps? What is the meaning of DevOps? Majority of us here right now, we use applications. We use applications. So people talk about apps. Now, if somebody is walking on the street and sees you guys are communicating about apps, that person was like, okay, when you say apps, what do you mean by apps? What is apps? You say apps means application. The person asks you for that, what is an application? What is it? Is it a book? Is it a pen? What is an application? It's an application is a piece of software that is written in a specific programming language to serve a specific purpose. And it needs to run on a hardware like an electronic device. That person will be like, that is too much language for me. I'm not a tech savvy, but can you break that down for me? Can you break that down for me? As time goes on, innovation improves. We engineers and scientists, they have to keep inventing things to make life better for you and I. So before we had what is called Abacus, which is a gigantic computer. That computer, that's the first computer that was invented, is called Abacus. It's like a magazine, it's like a warehouse. You see what I'm saying? If you want to change a floppy disk, you have to put a ladder, climb on it, and then you change the floppy disk. But as time goes on, they see that size is a problem. Anything that occupies space is a problem. You see? So they try to reduce the size of that computer until they come to a point where we are having laptops today, we're having iPad today, we're having smartphones today. And bear with me when I talk of computer. What is a computer? What is a computer? A computer is any device which is capable to take input data, process it, and gives you output. Your phone is a computer, your iPad is a computer, you have a laptop computer. Anything that takes in data and sends out data is a computer. You see what I'm saying? So that computer now, why are you going to need a computer? You need a computer so that your life can be easier. Everything we do right now and nowadays revolves around a computer. Revolves around a computer. So that computer is a device that can help you to process data. And because we live in the 21st century, we live on data. You see what I'm saying? So in order for us to process data, why are we processing data? We process data to get information. There's a difference between data and information. You see what I'm saying? Data is a raw form of information that has not yet been processed. You see, when you process data, you get information. But now, what are we going to need in order for us to process that data? You need application. You need an application. An application is what you need in order for you to process that data. But that application has a dependency. That application has a dependency. Just as a little born baby depends on the mom and the parents for survival. That application has dependency. So what does the app depends on? The application depends on a computer. Depends on a computer. You see what I'm saying? So the application runs on a computer. Why? Because the computer has the underlying hardware that is capable to process data like CPU and RAM. So we need an application in order for us to process data to get information. Now, a typical example for what you guys already know is WhatsApp. It's WhatsApp. WhatsApp is an application. Now, do you use WhatsApp to check your bank account balance? The answer is no. You use WhatsApp to do what? You use WhatsApp to make calls because WhatsApp was designed for that. You know what I'm saying? WhatsApp was designed to issue calls, send messages, send texts, and all those kind of stuff. Now, scientists further realized that that thing called application that we all need today, because applications are designed for specific function. Okay, they need something to help them in order for them to use the computer. What is that thing they need? That thing they need is called operating system. It's called operating system. Listen to the word operating system. An operating system now is also a software, but it is written and designed for multi-purpose, multitasking. That is the role of an operating system. But an application is for specific task. So you explain to that person that, look, There's something we call hardware, computer, something we call operating system. But there's something we also call application. Now, you cannot just want something that is general. You want something that's specific to you. And applications were developed to solve problems. Right now, you can build your own application. If you see things going around you in the world right now that is difficult, and they want to come out with a suggestion to solve that problem, the best way to go is app. It's an application. You build an app, that app solves that problem, and you become a millionaire. That is what you have to do. Now, we further ask some question. Now we've learned that we need a computer, we need an operating system, and then we need an application. Now, how does those three things sit together now to help me solve my life problem? You see what I'm saying? You need a hardware, you need a software, and they also need those applications. Now, what you are about to see or learn from today's introduction is how do you get those applications out there? How do you get the application out there? I guarantee you, if you just have 2% skills on how to build, test, deploy an app, you cannot complain about not having a job. You can't complain. Anywhere in the world, you cannot complain because that is what is actually selling right now. Some of your family members or some of your colleagues, your friends, they go to school, they study some kind of things, they come out, they don't have a job, they complain. What are they doing in school? Now, somebody need to tell them that right now in the 21st century, you need to think in a computerized way. There's no option. You don't have any choice. You don't have any choice. So DevOps, that word called DevOps is a combination of two things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing my screen and then I'm going to go to my Sublime Text. I'm going to use some explanation to tell you guys what is DevOps. So if you have listened to the word DevOps, what actually is DevOps. Let me open my Sublime Text and then I'm going to share my screen. Sharing my screen here. Now, if you see here, let me come here. DevOps, we're talking about DevOps. We've learned that we need a computer, we need an operating system, we need an application. Now, this DevOps is what you are going to use to orchestrate that application lifecycle. That is what these skills you're going to learn now is what's going to permit you to be able to orchestrate. Orchestration is managing the lifecycle of an application. So we listen to the word DevOps. Let me use in all caps. DevOps. Devs and ops. What is it all about? This dev here means development. It stands for development. Then this ops here stands for operation. This one stands for operation. Okay, this one is operations. Now we have development and then we have operation. Before, when they start building applications, right, each time you want to build an application, you have to define the purpose of that application. You have to define the purpose of what is that app going to be doing to users. How are end users going to use that application? Now, an example which we are going to use is going to be WhatsApp. The WhatsApp app that everybody is familiar with. Okay. Before WhatsApp came into existence, somebody wanted to solve a major problem. Then the person went ahead and created something called WhatsApp. You see what I'm saying? Now, this WhatsApp application, you can install it on your computer and you can also install it on your laptop. I don't want on your laptop or on your mobile devices because your mobile device is also a computer, right? So you have to install this application on a mobile device. Now, when you open your WhatsApp application, you see all those writings. You see where it says settings, you see where it says post and all those things. Those things you see on your WhatsApp application are code. Are what? We call them code. It's a code. It's a code that has been written by somebody sitting somewhere in the world right now. Sit down and write the code and then test that code, build that code, and then deploy it and push it into the Android and iOS stack. And then you guys are going now and downloading it for free. You're making your video calls. You're happy. That person is making a lot of money back at the back end. So this code needs to be written by somebody. Somebody needs to sit down that knows a certain programming language to program the WhatsApp application. So there is a raw form of WhatsApp and there is a usable form of WhatsApp. What you guys are using is the usable form of WhatsApp. There's a raw form of WhatsApp that if they show you, you will not believe that that's WhatsApp that is on your phone because you will not understand anything on it because it's all written in code. Okay, so there's a code that needs to be developed. Okay, who is going to develop this code? We usually call them the dev team, the development team. They constitute of software developers, software engineers. They sit down, they write code all overnight. They are writing code, and that code that they're writing is to define what actually this application is going to be doing. Now, once the dev team design and write the code, somebody needs to do what? Somebody needs to test that code. Somebody needs to test that code. So let's come to the QA team, quality assurance. Somebody needs to test that code. You see what I'm saying? Now, why did they need to test that code? Because the guy that created WhatsApp saw the need to create a solution. He said, okay, I'm going to build an app. And before I make that app public, I need to test it and make sure it is working. I need to test it and make sure it is working. Now, if somebody tests it and is good, you need what? You need an operation, you need an ops team. You need the ops team. This ops team is going to make sure that the code that has been built and deployed is going to be reachable to end users. It's going to be reachable to end users. Now, this dev team constitutes of software developers, software engineers. The QA team constitutes of different set of people, and then the ops team constitutes of different set of people. There was a problem because whenever there's an issue in operation, somebody from the dev team is not able to troubleshoot. When there's a problem in operation, somebody from the dev team is not able to troubleshoot. When there's a problem in the code in the dev environment or in the dev team, an operation guy has no clue. So because of this disconnect between the dev team, the QA team, and the ops team, they started thinking, we need an individual who is going to have some dev skills and some operation skills. They were going to call this person a DevOps engineer, somebody that can understand code and that can test the code and that can deploy the code at the same time. You see what I'm saying? So that is how they came about with so DevOps is a technology that helps to bridge the gap between the dev team and the operation team to ensure that we build, test, and release softwares in record speed. It's because of DevOps that you have thousands of applications out there. It just got exploded. 20 years backward, we didn't have all of these applications that we have today. It's because of this technology that we can build, test, and deploy applications and softwares in record time. But before that, let's say, for example, I'm going to take three features. I'll call them ethics for WhatsApp, three characteristics. In WhatsApp, you can do what? You can do video calls. Before there was no video calls, you can do what? You can do audio calls, right? You can make audio calls, and I'm going to say you can send text. So let's use the video call, the audio call, and the text functionality of the WhatsApp application. Now, without DevOps, they use what we call the waterfall methodology and the agile methodology, where they will first of all build a functionality like the texting function and make sure it is working before they go and start developing the audio call and the video call functionality. Without DevOps, that is the way it goes. They build it step by step. They first of all build the test functionality, they deploy it, they test it, they start using it before they go ahead now and start building the next feature like audio, video, and all of that. And for so doing, it takes months. It was taking months to release software, to release application. That is why 15 years backward, 20 years backward, we didn't have WhatsApp, Facebook, WeChat, TikTok, all these apps you're using today, they were not there because it was taking time to build and release them. You need to build each feature at a time. You test it, make sure it's working before you build the next feature. But with DevOps, we build the video, the audio, and text at the same time. You see what I'm saying? There's continuous development, continuous testing, continuous monitoring, continuous security, continuous delivery, everything is continuous. It never stops. So the DevOps methodology is a continuous process where there's continuously developing, continuously testing, continuously operating, all these things. That's why today you have WhatsApp, you have WeChat, you have Telegram, you have all these apps because everyone knows that, okay, this technology exists. But there's a big problem. Where are we going to build, test, and deploy this product? We need a computerization, we need a compute environment. They needed a compute environment. They needed a compute environment. That is why they explored what is called cloud computing. They explored what is called what? Cloud computing. But most WhatsApp users, they have no idea. They don't have any idea WhatsApp, what is it all about? Where is it deployed? How is it being used? Even your data, even your pictures. You see, you don't know what they do with it. So all those things are not user-friendly information, and most of the time, consumers do not really care about what the hell that thing is. You see what I'm saying? They just want to use it, enjoy their life, make their selfies, and post their videos and their pictures, and they're happy. You see what I'm saying? But the person that built this product is already very, very rich, if you know that already. So they need cloud computing. In this module, you are going to be introduced into all of these things, but you need to also understand cloud computing. In this cloud computing, we are going to be using providers like AWS, we have providers like Google, right? And then we have providers like Microsoft. We have Microsoft. We have Microsoft too. So these guys, AWS, Google, Microsoft, Alibaba, Oracle, all these guys are cloud computing providers. You know what I'm saying? They have when we call cloud computing. If you know where the word cloud is something that is in the sky, you see what I'm saying? When you heard of cloud, you think of infinite storage. You think of something that's bigger than what you think. It's a cloud. Why didn't they say ground computing? No, they say cloud computing. It means there's an abstraction between you and your data. Data is kept somewhere remotely from you. So these cloud computing providers like AWS, Google, they will go there and you are going to learn how to use stuff like EC2 services. You're going to use services for these cloud providers to come out with an environment where you can build, test, and deploy such an application. Okay. Now, after all of this, you have heard of dev team, QA team, off teams. You have heard of example WhatsApp. WhatsApp has different functionalities, texting, video, posting. You have WhatsApp for business, WhatsApp for personal use, and all those kind of things. And if you realize the way WhatsApp for business work and WhatsApp for personal use is a little bit different. Some of them have some automated messages and all of that. It's because people keep asking those who own those products, okay, how can you make it better? How can you improve this product? Because I like the way it is, but I wanted to do my business. How can I make WhatsApp to be more business friendly? They went ahead and created WhatsApp for business. There was no WhatsApp for business before because people keep saying these things. Now, let's take an example where you are a consumer of WhatsApp. Okay. Now, a day comes where you try to make video calls, it doesn't work. It tells you that, oh, sorry, we can't make a call at this point in time. You are going to be frustrated, right? You are going to feel bad because you want to make a call. These things needs to work for people to be happy and live a healthy life. You try to send a text, it doesn't go. Probably maybe you don't have data, you don't have internet connection because these applications, data transfer from one app to another needs to happen via the internet. And also during this course, you're going to learn when you say internet, what is internet? You know what I'm saying? Because people just say it, but they don't really know what is internet. You know what I'm saying? So let's say you try to send a text, it didn't go. You try to make a video, an audio call is not working. You try to do like a video call is not working. You check your data, you have internet code, everything is looking well, but it's not working. You remove the app from your phone, you upload it again, you still try to make a call, it's not working. The next thing you're going to think is, I need to talk to somebody that works with WhatsApp company. That point, you're going to be forced to know that WhatsApp Inc. is a company. It's a whole company that has a group of people that are working. So you have a WhatsApp, somebody that owns WhatsApp, a company where you can talk to somebody. Now, you pick your app, you search for customer service, maybe you say WhatsApp customer service, all kind of thing. Okay. You search the number and then you call. When you call the company, say you call the hotline. Excuse me, my name is this. I'm a WhatsApp user. I'm trying to make video call. I'm trying to make audio call. It's not working. What do you think I need to do? Most of the time, when you make that call, you don't talk to a human being. You talk to AI machines The machine will say, if you want to talk to the customer service, press 1, press 2, press 3, press 4. Before you see a human and talk to a human, you must have gone through several stack of AI infrastructure. So people, they don't like it. They just want to hit 0 and talk to somebody, talk to a human being. So if you see, this thing is making life a little bit frustrating to some people, because when they make calls, sometimes they keep you waiting for like 30 minutes. You talk to an AI machine for 30 minutes before you meet somebody else. Now, think about it. That machine that is responding to your call was being done by a human being that got a job. Now, because AI came in, they had to fire that person and then replace that person with a machine that will not complain that my child needs to go to daycare. They don't need to complain. You know what I'm saying? So they replace that human being with an AI system that is capable to say, hey, thank you for calling. How may I help you? You say, I need to talk to somebody. It's okay. You can ask you some basic information. Enter your zip code, and then press star. You press star. He asks you again. Okay, if you want to talk to a customer service, press 1. You want to talk to the technical department, press 2. You want to talk to the press 3, press 4, press 5. There some people even go up to 8 options. When you hit 2, 2 now goes to technical department. It routes the traffic to so there's a mechanism doing all of that. And think about the person that set that mechanism there. He just laid off a human being that complains, that comes to work late, and that says things are not working, by a robot that can do the job. When the customer service pick up the phone, they say, hey, how may I help you? Now you give your complaint. I'm trying to send a text message, it's not working. I'm trying to make a call, it's not working. I'm trying to make video call, it's not working. Now, the person will say that, okay, yes, I think we have received so many calls from users that they are not able to make text, they're not able to make call. Our engineers are currently working in the same to fix the problem. That customer service that picked up the phone and talked, that person has no technical background. That person, they cannot pay them as they pay you with the technical baggage. You see what I'm saying? After the call has been dropped, the customer service representative is going to come out with a ticket. It's going to create a ticket. Users complain, they can't send text, video, and this call. That ticket, they are going to send it to the engineering department of that WhatsApp company. That engineering department constitutes software engineers, DevOps engineers like yourself. They say, okay, we have a major problem. End users are complaining that they cannot make text, they cannot make calls. Those engineers now, they have to go in and troubleshoot and fix their problem. But the question will be, how? You see? The question will be how? How are they going to fix the problem? You see? Now, this is how they are going to fix the problem. They are the owners of that application. So they have the raw form of WhatsApp that you cannot see as an end user. What you see are graphics, nice graphics. You click here, you click there. What they see in the back is all in code, written in maybe Python or Golang or Java or TypeScript or any other programming language that exists in the world. That is what is used to build the WhatsApp application. Now, these engineers, they know exactly what part of that code is powering the texting service, the audio service, and the video service. They know it because they built the thing. So they will go in there and start making that change. The problem is, where is that way I'm talking about? That way is called GitHub, for example. GitHub is a tool you're going to learn. That tool is used for version control, it's a version control system. So all those developers that build WhatsApp, that code that is running WhatsApp application is stored somewhere. You see what I'm saying? Because if something goes bad, WhatsApp is going to bounce back to the previous version and then they'll still serve you as customers. So they want to make sure that each time they do a new release, they save the code. That code is stored in something called GitHub, and which you are going to learn. Those engineers, they go to GitHub, they pull down the code, they go to the line exactly where the logic that powers the texting and all those services. They're going to look at it. They're like, okay, probably there's maybe a plugin that has expired. There may be a package that is not more needed. An update needs to happen. There are some plugins that need to change. They will submit a pull request, make those changes, and then the thing goes through an entire pipeline. Once it goes to an entire pipeline, they will send it to the QA team. By the time they are doing all of these things, you as a user, you're just sitting there and waiting. You're telling your friends that it's not working. Is it working for you? Your friend says it's not also working for me. They ask me to wait. Everybody is patient. Everybody is waiting. Everybody is waiting for who? For the good guys to make the magic happen. Now, once they do the small change, they send it to the QA team. The QA team evaluate it and see that, okay, this is looking good. Now they do a release. They do what is called a release. That release now is a snapshot in time of that new application that you want to consume. Once they do a release and everything looks good, now customers, they will say, okay, maybe tell the customer, go back and call the user. Ask the user to refresh their app. Before you see it, maybe after, and it happens very quick. It happens very quick in that matter of minutes. Your phone is ringing. This is WhatsApp customer service. Please, I think we did a fix with your problem. Can you refresh your app? You refresh your app. Then you know now, you say, try now. You try to send a text, it's working. You are happy. You're happy. Now, see, there are two sides of the curve, okay? There is section, tech, and there is section, user. Now, if you are on the right side as a user, okay, therefore means you're making a living from something else. Maybe you're a truck driver, you're a taxi driver, you're a hair salon person, you're whatever. You're on the user side. Now, if you want to cross and come on this side of tech, you need knowledge. You need knowledge. You need knowledge. Okay. Now, what you're trying to do now is to transition from being a regular user to being a tech savvy, to be somebody that can build this thing people are using. And the moment you switch from right to left, what happens to you? You will have a better life. You get paid more money. Okay. You are still a user, but at the same time, you are a producer. You are able to build this app. You are able to support companies building this application, and then you are going to be able to make a good living from that. So while you are in this module, there are so many things you are going to learn. You are going to learn tools that are used by the dev team. You are going to learn tools that are used by the QA team, and you're going to learn tools that are used by the ops team. That is why DevOps engineers are different from other IT folks. You see what I'm saying? From cybersecurity, they are different because these are people that can think. Okay, you can think, you are able to articulate, and they are able to make data-driven decision. So during this module, let me just outline some of the things you are going to learn. Okay, some of the things you are going to learn, and you are going to be trained. Why are you learning what we just said? So from the first one, you will start with operating system. Remember, everything starts from square one. You start with operating system. Okay, you need to learn an operating system. An operating system is used to operate a device. Okay, an operating system is used to operate a device. For example, Android is an operating system. iOS is an operating system in iPhones, iPad. That is iOS. That's the operating system. You have Mac OS is operating system on MacBook. You have Windows is operating system on Windows. You have Linux, Ubuntu. So inside here, you have so many. You have Linux, right? You have Windows. You have iOS, and etc. etc. You have so many different things. So those application runs on operating system. So the first priority, the first thing that you need to know is how to operate such a system. So that is the first thing you need to start. We start from there. Once you have learned operating system, right, you are going to move into some cloud computing. You have to learn some cloud computing. This cloud computing now is stuff like AWS. Okay, we'll start with AWS. You have to learn some cloud computing. Once you learn this cloud computing, the next thing now you have learned is what? Now you know how to use an operating system. You know that, okay, that operating system needs to run on a device. That device is hosted by a cloud computing provider like AWS. Once you're done with that, you need to start talking about development. You need to start talking about developing. Okay? Developing. Start talking about developing. In this developing, you need to learn something called Git. You need to learn something called Git. Okay? You need to learn something called Git and GitHub. Git and GitHub. Okay? So this Git and GitHub now is going to be where the code that powers an application, where will you keep them? Because now most of these jobs that you're going to have, you'll be working with people that are in India, some are in China, some are in Cameroon. That means your colleague are spread all over the world. But wait, how come I'm going to work with my colleague? I'm based in the US, my colleague is based in China. So does that mean that I go to China every time to talk to the person? No, I work from my house. The engineer in China works from their house. We have somewhere that we connect. And all of this thing is possible because of internet. Because of internet. Without internet, we are not going to sit there and be talking. You know what I'm saying? So all of this thing happened over the internet. Imagine yourself. You took 6 months to learn this course. Then you land a job. That job you're working from your house. You don't need to go out. You're working from your house. You're making 2 times the money that somebody is going to the office is making. Why from your house? You see what I'm saying? So it is a game changer. Once you learn Git and GitHub, you are going to move to something else. You are going to learn some kind of CI/CD. Okay, you're going to learn some CI/CD. CI/CD here means continuous integration, continuous deployment, or continuous delivery. We're going to see when to say continuous delivery, when to say continuous deployment. You have to learn some CI/CD. Why do you want to move from Git and GitHub and then go to CI/CD? Now, you write some code. Okay? You write some code. It's like you writing some code. You push that code into a GitHub system. You keep it in GitHub. That code will remain in GitHub to thy kingdom come if nothing happens. Now you want something that once that code sits in GitHub, that thing picks the code and then process it. That thing picks the code and then process it. So that thing that processes, right now I'm using local language, but once you start learning the program, I'm going to change, I'm going to switch. Okay. You need something that goes and anchor to GitHub and then suck out the code and then start transforming it into an application. That thing I'm talking about is called CI/CD. In this CI/CD, you're going to learn something called GitHub Actions. You have GitHub Actions. You have people like Jenkins. You have people like GitLab, right? And then you have so many GitLab CI. You have so many. You have something called TeamCity. You have something called Concourse. Okay. You have a lot of CI/CD tools, etc., etc. Okay, we are going to choose some of them. We are going to trash them during the module, but you are just required to know one. Even if you know just one, that is fine. Okay, now once you go through CI/CD, okay, the next thing we are going to focus on is going to be what? It's going to be image. It's going to be application. It's going to be application development. Here, I categorize one to be something like what? Image, something like, you're going to see something like Docker, right? You're going to see something like Docker. You're going to learn some Kubernetes, okay? You're going to learn some Kubernetes. You're going to learn a lot of monitoring, okay? Monitoring. You're going to learn what? Inside, you're also going to learn some alerting, right? Alerting. And then inside, you're also going to learn what we call a release. You're going to learn something like that, application development. So you're going to have Docker, you're going to have learn Kubernetes, monitoring, alerting, and all of that. Now, once you go through this, the next thing you're also going to learn now is going to be infrastructure. You're going to see some infrastructure. When we say infrastructure in terms of IT, we are not talking about bridges. Okay? In this infrastructure, we mean computerized, like computing devices, computing system, computing resources that exist in the cloud. Now, in this infrastructure, you're going to learn something called Terraform. You're going to learn some Ansible configuration management. Okay? You're going to learn Terraform, you're going to learn Ansible. There's also CloudFormation. Okay? And somebody will be like, okay, this is too much of information. I don't think I can do this in 6 months. You don't need to know all of these things, and I'm not going to exhaust everything. Okay? I'm just going to list some of the things that you're going to see once you sign up for this course. That infrastructure is going to be Terraform. You're going to have some Ansible. You're going to have CloudFormation. Now, if you see, I just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is highly summarized. There's no details inside, right? But when you start putting the details inside, this is going to be spreading out for months. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be spreading out. And this one, like application development, there Docker, Kubernetes, all those monitoring, alerting, releases, and all those stuff is going to come into play. Now you have that infrastructure, Terraform, Ansible, CloudFormation. Now, 7. On the 7 is going to be how we're going to answer the question, how can you make sure these stacks are secured? You are going to put everything, you're going to take security now and then enclose everything in form of security. How do you secure your operating system? How do you secure your cloud computing system? How do you secure your GitHub repository? How do you secure your CI/CD pipeline? How do you secure your application? How do you secure your Terraform? What's the security experience in all of these things? So security now will come and then go around everything, because everything you're talking, you have to implement, you have to factor in security. You have to factor in your security. Now, the basic, so when somebody say, when I talk about security, someone who is not familiar with this stuff might, okay, please just mute yourself, okay? I don't want to mute everyone. Just mute yourself if you don't say anything. Now, when we talk of security, we're talking about a security guard. Okay, we're talking about how do you make sure technically this application is secure. So, as a DevOps engineer, you need to have security in every step of the way. Okay, in every step. So here at eTech, once we train you, we bring in the security aspect at every point in time. So you know that, okay, for example, your SSH keys to connect to your machine, you cannot just expose it anyhow. You make sure that your GitHub repository that you create is not all public. You have to create some private. Your GitHub action pipeline. How do you configure your variable, your secret? You have to learn all those things on how to secure. How do you secure your images? How do you secure your Kubernetes cluster? How do you make sure that you're monitoring and alerting your releases are secure? How do you securely write Terraform code? How do you make sure that your Ansible playbooks are secure, or your CloudFormation stack has security implemented into it? So it's all about security. Somebody will be like, okay, if he's talking about security, then why don't I go and do cyber security? Why am I doing DevOps? Now, this is the difference. A cybersecurity analyst or engineer focus on securing their application, but they don't know how that application was built. That's the difference. You see what I'm saying? That is why, as a DevOps engineer, you can easily switch to cybersecurity and add cybersecurity to your skill, but it's not easy for a cybersecurity guy to come into DevOps, because they're going to deal with operating system, they're going to deal with Terraform, they're going to deal with Kubernetes, they're going to deal with CI/CD. They don't know those stuff. You see what I'm saying? So that is why you coming out, starting with DevOps, it gives you a powerful base to shoot into any angles down the road. Okay. In DevOps, there's also security. You implement security in the development phase of your product. Now, somebody will be like, okay, after going through all of these things, how am I going to be able to land a job? How do I get a job? How do I get a job? You see what I'm saying? How do I get a job? Now, when it comes to DevOps roles, this course called DevOps is just a name. There's so many things. Once you take our training program, you can apply for jobs like DevOps engineers, site reliability engineer, cloud engineer, platform engineer, security engineer, IT consultant. There's a lot of different things you can apply for, because we open your mind and teach you so many things. So you have so many opportunities out there. Now, the way you get a job is you have to learn the industry skills. We share what we do here at our platform is showing you guys industry skills, not just some play around. No, we show you what we do at work. You see what I'm saying? We show you what you're going to see at a particular job. So we show you enterprise skills. So these enterprise skills that you're going to learn is the same enterprise skills you are going to need once you get a job. Now, the how you get a job is going to come into 3 phases. Phase 1, right? Phase 1 is going to be you have to get what? You have to get a resume. You need what? You need a resume. You need a resume. You need a resume. You need a resume. You have to work on your resume. Okay. Phase 2 is going to be, what is phase 2? Let's look at phase 2. Phase 2 is going to be a job profile. You need to create a job profile. A job profile can be done on LinkedIn, it can be done on Indeed, it can be done on ZipRecruiter, whatever platform you want to choose. But we will highly recommend LinkedIn. But there are so many job profiles out there. Now, phase 3 is going to be interview preparation, interview prep. There's no way you're going to get a job without going through interview. It's not possible, because that interview is needed in order for the company to test and assess your technical knowledge. And the good thing with this skill is they don't focus on your degree. It doesn't matter if you don't have a bachelor's degree. It doesn't matter if you don't have a. They don't need to know about your bachelor's degree, your master's degree, or your. They don't care about that. What they care is what do you or what can you do? That's the question. What can you do? It's not what do you have. It's what can you do, or what can you do? What do you think you can do? That interview is set up to test your knowledge. Okay. So now on the question on how do I get a job? Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. On the resume, what are you going to get from us? We are going to help you with that. Job profile, you are still going to see us. We're going to help you. Okay. Interview prep, you're still going to see us. We're going to help you. We're going to help you. And even there's another phase 4. There's also phase 4. Phase 4. Phase 4 is, the one is the big one. The one is the big one. 90 days on the job support. Upon request. 90 days on, this is the big one. 90 days on the job support upon request. I'm going to put a star on this one. You don't see it anywhere. Is what I'm saying. When some people teach you to go there, they don't care about you again. Some people don't even care about resume for you. They don't care about job profile. They don't care about interview prep for you. Not even talk of supporting you, helping you once you get a job. You will not see it anywhere. You see what I'm saying? Now, on your resume, what is going to go on the resume? What goes on the resume is what we have trained you on these 7 topics you see up here. So your resume is going to be a stack and a whole content of things. That resume, if it goes to any AI scanner, because now they use AI to scan resumes, they look for matching keyword, they are going to be receiving calls. With this thing, you don't need to apply for a job. Set up a LinkedIn profile and keep it there. They'll be calling you and want to talk to you. You can talk to those who have done it and they got job. They will be calling you to talk to you. So we help you with resume build out. We help you with job profile like LinkedIn setup. We set up session with you, we go to the session and then if you find something that's not good, we tell you that take this out, take this out. All of this is to help you. Interview prep. The job cycle starts with this, and a recruiter sees your profile on LinkedIn. Now they give you a call. They ask you, is it a good time for us to talk? You talk on the call. Now you have to go through some preliminary soft skills questions. Can you walk me through the stack what are the things you know? What are some of the tools you've learned? Can you walk me through some project you have done in the past? You run them through the script on the phone. Now you pass that interview. The next thing, the recruiter is happy. The recruiter says, I'm going to forward your resume to the hiring manager. And once that step goes through, they have to schedule you for a technical interview. It's going to be video, usually 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes maximum. Technical interview. Now, we encourage every student that before you go to that technical interview, reach out to us. Reach out to us. We are going to do an interview prep with you. We collect the job description from you, and then we're going to prep you psychologically and mentally to get that job. That is why we are here to help you out. Now, once you go to the technical interview, some jobs, they have 2 rounds, 3 rounds. It all depends. Once you go to the technical interview, you pass the technical interview, the next step is just going to be behavioral interview. Once you move to behavioral interview, just be knowing that you get the job. Once you got the job now, what next? You have to get onboarded. Now, part of this course also, I didn't mention it here, we also teach you how to onboard yourself. We teach you how to onboard yourself. So each module that we picked up, we teach you how to onboard, because once you get a job, you are going to need the same thing. That's the difference between this kind of training and a traditional university or a traditional college. You go to university, they teach you all sorts of things. You come out, you don't know where to apply for a job because you don't have anything specific that you know. You just learn some general knowledge. But the world is changing. That's why I see people go to school, they come out, they can't get a job because they just went and learned something that are not necessary. And this thing, you don't see it any university. There's no university, you can Google it, that teaches DevOps as a degree program. It's not there. So why are they not teaching these universities? That's the question. So you have the opportunity to learn this thing and move on to a high-paying career for you and your family. Now, to close it up, you don't need a degree. If you have a degree, that's fine. If you don't have a degree, that's okay. With your high school diploma, you can still land a DevOps job because what they care about is what can you do? It's not what do you have. Okay, it's not what do you have. And now there are some places where they will ask you for a degree. Of course, if you want to work for the government, they want to see a degree. They have their own requirements. If you don't want to work for the government, you have the opportunity to apply for anywhere that you can apply. Now, a question will come in here as, can I see a sample of your environment? Environment. So now I want to show you a small demo. I want to do a small practical demo, right? We decided to make it very light, so it doesn't take us so much time, just to show you the way things are done at Itekie. Now, we built a sample search engine, okay? A sample search engine. That search engine is an API endpoint. Okay? Don't mind the language right now, okay? But once you sign up, you are going to learn this thing. So it's an API endpoint. What is that API endpoint used for? Okay? It is used to search if a user is part of a company. This search API engine can be further extended and used for job verification. That means you apply for a job. Now you pass the interview. They want to do background check. That background check now goes through a third-party company. Now, that third-party company now, they have to take a phone and they look on your resume and say you work for Lex2 Corporation. They want to do job reference. They will take a phone and will type on Google Lex2 Corporation. They see their number that they call. Hey, we are a third-party background check company. We are doing a background check for one Mr. Paul Peter. On his resume, he mentioned he worked for your company. Do you have some time for some questioning? Now, that is the way they do. That's how they do traditional job verification right now. Now, the person will say, yes, he works here, he did this, he did that. Now, the idea behind this API endpoint is to replace the calling to check and then use an endpoint. So what happened is you enter some name, maybe some HTTPS. You want to say HTTPS, maybe HTTPS, some maybe blah blah blah. Okay. And then you say you want to do what? I want to search. Okay, I want to search what? I want to search the name. Maybe the name is Alice. For example, Alice. Once I hit enter on my browser, it should show me a JSON payload that Alice is a member of that organization without even calling them. So they'll tell the computer, okay, look, we need the API endpoint, the search engine API endpoint for your current job. We are going to hit that endpoint with your name and then give us a key that can identify your name. We are going to hit that key and they want to see the payload. If it says entry not found, it means you said it's a lie. You're not part of that company. Is what I'm saying. That's the idea behind this. It is a skeleton app. We did not develop it to full capacity, but just to show you how things can be done in a smart way without any major issue. So we call it a search engine API endpoint. Now, because that's an API endpoint, what are the components of this infrastructure? What are the components of the infrastructure? Okay, components. The components we have what? On number one, we use Git and GitHub. That's what we use. We use Git and GitHub. The second component we use is GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions. Now, after GitHub Action, what did we use? We use Docker. We made use of Docker. We made use of what again? We made use of Kubernetes. Inside this Kubernetes, we used deployment, okay? We use Helm, Kubernetes Package Manager, and we use some service. Oh, come here. I'm going to make this upper caps for those who understand. I've used some service, okay? Then here again, what did we use again? We use Terraform. We made use of Terraform. What did we make use again? We made use of PagerDuty. So I'm saying we made use of Terraform, made use of PagerDuty. So those are the things that we made use of. We made use of Git and GitHub, GitHub Action, Docker, Kubernetes, Helm, Terraform, and then we also made use, of course, AWS. We use a lot of AWS services. Inside AWS, we use EKS, we use ECR, we use EC2, okay? We use Route 53. We use Route 53. Okay. We used VPC. We use Elastic Load Balancer. Okay. We have RDS. You know what I'm saying? And so much more. So those are some of the services that is part of this mini project that we built just to show you how things are done at the tech. So if you just scan this component and then look at the thing we just mentioned up here, you see that they are all there. They are there. Jenkins is there, Git and GitHub is there, AWS is there, Linux is there, Terraform is there, everything is there, and even the security aspect is there. So for the security aspect, we use ACM. We use ACM. AWS Certificate Manager. We use ACM. Okay, now how does it work? Okay, how does it work? I'm going to go to my a different account, and I'm going to walk you guys through something. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to go to this one. Now, how does it work? How does it work? We know that many people nowadays, you might not be able to understand some of the things I'm going to demo here because you have not done this before. But I just want you to sit down, relax, and then just imagine you doing what I'm doing. Okay, imagine you having the skills that I'm displaying here, and then try to fit yourself in the labor market and then see where you reside. At the end of the day, we're going to go through LinkedIn and just look at a little bit of some job description. They see the amount of money they're going to pay you if you are able to know these things handy. So here I'm going to be drawing so it doesn't take us time. Okay. Now, whenever you want to access something, for example, look at this one. Business banking. This is chase.com. This is a bank. This is chase.com. You enter something, it says secure.chase.com. It asks you for username and password. You sign in. Again, many people don't know why they are signing in. You see what I'm saying? Again, there's a left side, which is a user. There's a right side, which is a user. There's a left side, which is a tech savvy. You make a decision. Either you want to stay a user or you want to go the tech savvy side. Now, you need to know why are you entering username and why are you entering password. Why? Because that is your metadata for that product. That is what identifies you to use that specific product. Now, under this here, we go to say, for example, let's say dot, let's just say sample.com, for example, sample.com. A computer does not understand letter A, letter B, letter C. A computer does not understand it. A computer knows only zeros and one. That's what a computer knows. So whatever you're typing on your keyboard on your phone, that phone does not know what is A, what is B, what is C. But in the memory of that phone, there is a match. When you hit letter A, it gets translated to 001, or something that the machine can understand. You see what I'm saying? So when you enter this www.sample.com, for example, I'm going to use the black box methodology. Okay, I created something called the black box methodology. That means I'm not going to show you everything that's inside. I'm going to show you in boxes. Okay, this thing here goes from this is your browser here. This is your computer here. Okay, this is your computer. Maybe I can add a computer there. Let me add a computer so it makes it. I will say laptop. This one. This is your computer. Okay, you go in there, you type on your browser www.sample.com, right? Now, that traffic now, because you have internet connection, that traffic leaves your browser and then it goes through the internet. It goes to the internet. Once you go to the internet, it's going to be searching if there's any domain called sample.com. That's what you're looking for. Now, it's going to search a database of all domain providers from AWS to GoDaddy to HostPapa. It's going to check the entire internet. Now, once it finds that sample.com is created and managed by AWS, what happened? It then now switched to go to Route 53. This is Route 53. I'm going to say arrow 53 here. You go to Route 53. Inside this Route 53, right, from your browser, inside the Route 53, we have something we call a hosted zone, HZ. In that hosted zone, we have something is called a record. We have a record. We have a record in that Route 53. Now, the traffic goes to Route 53 because it determines that sample.com is an AWS owned domain. The person that bought that domain bought it via AWS. It goes through that. Now it goes to Route 53. It scans the Route 53. It finds out that there's a record. From that Route 53, it has to map to what is called a load balancer. This other box here is a load balancer box. Okay, so here is a load balancer. Here we have SSL termination. We have SSL TLS here. We're going to learn all of these things here. Transport layer security and secure socket layer. So this is the load balancer here. Okay, now how does the traffic know that I need to go to the load balancer? Because of the record. The record here is this sample.com is mapping to something. Load balancer DNS. Okay, load balancer DNS. Once it goes to the load balancer, what happens next? In our small demo, this load balancer now is going to send this traffic to, I'll just make a big box here. It's going to come to a Kubernetes cluster. Kubernetes cluster. So this is Kubernetes. It comes to the Kubernetes cluster. Inside this Kubernetes cluster, it goes to a stack of other Kubernetes resources like services and all of that. Okay. Here we have something like this. Here is a Kubernetes pod, and then here is a service. There is a service. Okay, here's a service. Now, because if the port is here, the service does not mean that traffic goes to the port before it goes to the service. When that traffic comes to the Kubernetes cluster, right, it's going to be routed to the service. Okay, it goes from the service. From that service, the service sends it to this port that is back here. I will not go too deep in the explanation. It's sent to this port. Now, inside this port, you have the Docker image. You have a Docker image. You have a Docker image. You have a Docker image. Okay, the image. Now, once that traffic goes to that image, inside that Docker image, you have the application source code and its dependencies packaged together, ready to run in any environment. Inside the Docker image, you have the logic. You see this guy smiling here? This guy smiling here. This picture you see here is inside the image of that application. That means if people complain that we don't like this guy, we need to put different people from different continents. Now, how would that work? They'll have to go and build a new image. They will pick the code that was used to build the old image. They will add more pictures to it. They build a new image. So whatever you see on this UI here is what is content of this Docker image, nothing else. Only the content of the Docker image. Okay. So now here you have the port, and then you have the service. You have the TLS, SSL, and then you have the load balancer, and then you have all of this stuff here. That's just like a box method to explain it. Okay. There's so much behind this. Now you enter www. Then you enter a search name you want to search. That traffic goes to our 53, it goes to load balancer, and then it comes all the way to this point here. Now, if he comes and check this thing, and if he finds out that, yes, that name you enter, Alice, is part of the application source code, then we need a PagerDuty alert. We need something outside here. Okay? Then we'll come here. Let me come here and add something else again. Yeah, I'm going to say user. I'm going to say user. This user here. Okay? Now, this is a user. That user is also on this side. Okay, I'm going to come here. I will duplicate. Let me duplicate this one. Duplicate. Now, there are two types of users, right? This person on this side is a consumer. This one is these are engineers. Let me come here, move this one. These are engineers on this other side here. So these are engineers, EN. Now, this engineer here needs to have PagerDuty installed on their phone. So we build the application such a way that whenever you hit the endpoint, if the user that you entered is part of their application, then it should send a PagerDuty alert. Okay, that PagerDuty alert now is going to fire messages to your phone and then tell that somebody hit your endpoint. On that message, it tells you exactly what name was searched, right? And then you're going to tell you what time that was done, so that you are going to know, okay, we as the owner of our product, we are currently being serving the customer. Somebody checked something. But if the name that was entered is not part of their application, then it should return a not found error, and then it should not fire any PagerDuty alert. So that we just say, okay, we did not receive any requests. Why are we capturing all the requests when somebody hit our endpoint? We want to measure some statistics to see how many people are using our product, how much time they are using to invest, and all those kind of things. That's what we want to look for. Now, I want to now walk you through now the various systems really quick. So I will come here. Okay, I'll go to this account. Here, this is GitHub repository. The GitHub repository, you have the code here called search API. This is the code here. So inside here, you have the API, which is the logic of the application. You have the Docker file. You have the main.py. It's written in Python. Okay, it's written in Python. And then on the API here, you have some requirements. You know, it needs some of these requirements to make the thing to work. Then, apart from that, you have Helm. Helm now is a package manager for Kubernetes. It helps you to manage deployments in Kubernetes environment. We have the Helm template, which is a Golang template. Deployment.yaml looks like this. Again, don't be fighting, or some people that are new say, okay, I think the people said there's no coding. Why am I seeing code? This is not coding. This is not programming. Okay, this is not programming. Now you come here, service.yaml. This is how it looks like. It looks strange to you right now, but I guarantee you, once you start learning this thing, it's not going to look strange to you anymore. Okay, so you come here. Okay, now next, under this one, this is the GitHub action pipeline, the CI/CD.yaml. This is the code that is the brain of the CI/CD. It is the one doing the job. It pulls the code, it connects to AWS, it runs the build, builds the image, pushes it to ECRO, does the deployment and all of that. So this is the engine. This is the engine of the application lifecycle deployment. This is the engine, which is the CI/CD, Now, apart from this, you also have what? You have the AWS infrastructure. This is our 53. We are going to use this domain called excelcloudsolution.com. We created a record here called search engine.excelcloudsolution.com. Is mapping to an application load balancer. Then we also created an ACM certificate, which will ensure that we have HTTPS traffic. And some of you nowadays, when you're using this product, you don't even know. Some of us don't know if something is secure or not. We go there, we enter our name, date of birth. You don't know how to check if a website is secure or not. You don't know how to check it. So part of this training is to help you use technology secured in a secured manner. So what do? We created an ACM certificate. That certificate ensures that when you go to your browser, you enter our endpoint, the traffic is going to be encrypted when it is traveling in the internet for your security, so that hackers will not intercept it and capture your information. That's the use of this certificate for security. Then we have a network load balancer who is responsible to route that traffic into the Kubernetes cluster. And that network load balancer is managed by an AWS load balancer controller. So you are going to learn all of these things once you start learning this course. That load balancer should be internet facing, because we want to hit the endpoint from the internet. Okay, this is the load balancer. These are the listeners. These are the security group. If you go to listeners, you see that it's listening on TLS 443. This is a secured port for accessing an HTTPS application. Okay, that's the load balancer. Then the next, you have Kubernetes cluster. This is the Kubernetes cluster inside which the application is running. This Kubernetes cluster was set up using Terraform. I'm also going to show you just do a glance of the Terraform code that was used. Okay, so you have the cluster here, and then all the cluster resources are here. You have the computing, the networking, you have the add-ons, you have the access, you have observability, you have a lot of things you are going to learn. This Kubernetes cluster is where the application currently sits. So all the apps that you guys are using today, they are sitting somewhere like this one. That's where they are sitting. So if something goes bad here, you are going to be out of WhatsApp. You cannot send message, you cannot text. But you don't know what has happened because this thing went down. But the good news is, the way they build this stuff, we build it in such a way that there is redundancy. There is a high availability. There's high efficiency. There's high capacity. It is scalable. Meaning that what? If many people try to use WhatsApp, WhatsApp is growing, or many traffic comes in, the thing can auto scale. Now for accessing, we use IAM service for accessing, like IAM user, IAM role. We have an IAM role that we use, that we set up. That IAM role has some trusted policy, and then we have this trusted policy defines which user is allowed to assume this role to do what. Once a user assumes this role, their access to the AWS is capped by the permission policy attached to that role. This is a secure way to operate an AWS account. So this is only part of the security. Now, all the actions you see are only the things that the person can do. Whatever is not here, they cannot do once they use this credentials to connect. So you have seen the GitHub repository, you have seen This is the PagerDuty system. This PagerDuty system here is to check whenever a name check is done. So when you do that, you have to create what? We have some assignees, we have some PagerDuty service. We have a PagerDuty service, is a default service, and it's a new service that we created. This service is called eTech Webinar. This one was created for this webinar. So each PagerDuty service connects to one application service. So the word service can be confusing, but one is lowercase s, one is uppercase s. Now you'll be like, okay, what is the meaning of lowercase, uppercase? You're going to learn all of these things. Because sometimes I will say service and I say service, you'll be like, okay, is this the same thing? I'm not talking about the same thing, okay? We are going to learn that subsequently. Now, what happens is, if I come here, the application endpoint is search engine.excelcloudsolutions.com. Okay, this is the domain. If you go to Route 53, this is it here. Search engine.excelcloudsolution.com. Now, if I come here and I copy this thing here, so when you want to access any endpoint, copy it, go to a text editor, okay, like this. And then you do what? You paste it. You paste it. You see this thing here? HTTPS. If you don't see this, if it comes out like this, be very careful. Do not enter any information on it, because on the browser, it doesn't show you. Let me show you. On the browser, it doesn't show you. You don't see any HTTPS. So you don't know if it is secure or it is not secure. Until you copy it and then you paste it on a text editor, that text editor brings out the schema on it. You see, this is secure. Why do we have this S here? S means we have that ACM certificate. That ACM certificate is the one that ensures that whenever you enter this endpoint, it is secure. How was this done? Once you sign up, you are going to see how it was done. Now, what we are going to do is, I will come here, I will search a different name. Let me come here and search a name. So if I enter this one here, and then I change from John, if you see the payload, I'm going to enter Alice. I'm going to enter Alice, and then I'm going to hit enter. You see, Alice Johnson is there. It's changed to Alice Johnson. And now I am receiving a PagerDuty alert. So if you see that my phone is ringing, I'm going to take the call.
To trigger incidents on 2 services. Press 4 to acknowledge all incidents.
Now, once this happens, goes to PagerDuty. Okay, I go to PagerDuty. I'm going to refresh. Okay, you see an incident, a new incident was activated. Now, what incident is that? You see trigger, Alice.
You have to trigger incident.
Name check request for Alice, and that's the name I entered on my browser here. If I click on this, now I know that somebody hit our endpoint. What time? 10:07 a.m. few seconds ago. You see that? It has been triggered. And it's telling you, if you come down here, it's giving you all the information that you need. Somebody needs to come and click on acknowledge. You see, I need to acknowledge that. I've acknowledged it. Once I acknowledge it, then we are going to see that, okay, somebody hit our endpoint and check a name called Alice. It therefore means that Alice is part of the organization. That's the full name, Alice Johnson. If I change one and put and enter maybe, let me say Peter. Let me enter Peter. Then I hit enter. You see, name not found, and I don't receive any PagerDuty alert because Peter is not part of our system. That is why there's nothing triggering here. There's nothing triggering here. You see, there's no incident. If I go to incident, the last incident was for a name check for Alice. There's no name check for Peter. Why? Because Peter is not. So if that background check company, they hit this endpoint, they receive this reply, and they attend that I work for that company, they'll not even call you again. Because they realize that the name not found, it means you are not there. You are not part of that business. Okay? You're not part of that business. So we have some tools I want to show you, like Sync tool. This tool is an AI platform for security orchestration. Don't be scared with all what you see here, but you are going to learn how to use this kind of tool to do a lot of marvelous things in your career as a DevOps engineer. So with that said, that is what we had to present to you guys as this DevOps training program is concerned. Okay, it's not difficult. If you're serious, you're going to put it out. If you are not serious, you can't put it out. So what happens is, once we are done with this session, right, the recording is going to be available for in-house students. You can watch that recording, and then this project that I just displayed here, you are going to learn how to build it from scratch. Now I just show you the bigger picture, but I didn't show you everything that is inside because it takes time to build it. So once you come, we train you from each box to each box. The first box is the Linux. Once you learn the Linux, you're going to know how to operate it. One thing I didn't show you is the Terraform code that I promised to show you. Let me show you Terraform code locally. So you see, this is my local development environment. This is the code here. If you come here, it's from here that if I run some Kubernetes command like kubectl get ports, you see, these are the ports that are running that Kubernetes cluster. I'm locked out of my system. It's doing that because I locked out. So what we do is we come here. Look at this. We have this code here called access AWS assume role.sh. So what I do is I'll do clear. Again, you also learn how to use this terminal. This is called an IDE, Integrated Development Environment, VS Code. Now you're going to learn something like, now you're going to see me doing it, but you might not be able to do it. But once you practice the thing, you're going to be able to do it as well. If I do ls, you see I have here API, I have Helm, and then I have readme.md. So this is a repository. If I do something like this, okay, then I do something like this, you see that? Now I am in somewhere else. If I do pwd, I am in a different directory. If I do ls, I have here assume role.sh. If I run this assume role.sh like this, see what is happening here. Now it's giving me another error message. Now, when you see something like this, fail to assume role, what does that mean? It means that yesterday I assumed the role, but today my credentials have expired. And look at this message. Fail to assume role, error details. Look at this line. Look at line 25. You see, it tells you that fail to assume role, this same thing, credentials, okay? So when you see this, what do? All you have to do is you come to this code here. You have to unset this stuff. So you copy this, and you can only have this code once you sign up for the course. Yeah, I'm going to paste this here, okay? Then what am I going to do? I will remove this export. Then I'm going to unset my credentials. So you learn all these things. It's not going to be magic. I'm going to do unset like this, okay? Okay, let me come here. Remove this stuff here, okay? Just do unset without those stuff. Then you do the next one. What do you do the next? Next, you come here, you copy this one, right? Now, for me, it is quick for me to figure out when there's any error because I know the stuff, right? But for you, you are going to, once you learn it too, it will take you seconds to figure out why something is not working. You remove this one here, okay? This is how we show our engineers how to connect to AWS using rule from there, from the terminal. Yeah, I'm going to do onset again. All of these are commands, right? It's not my language, it's just commands. The next thing is I'm going to also copy this one. Just this one. Then I'm going to paste it here. Then I'm going to do onset. Okay. Come here. Remove this export to onset. Onset. Right? Then I hit enter. Once I do that, I run again my assume role.sh. Now I see it didn't complain again. It didn't complain again. Now, once I do that, I will do clear. Now I'll do ls. We'll make it such a way that at the end of the day, you create a file called aws-tem.credentials. You're going to source that file. Okay? Source, they are going to do aws underscore temp. You hit the tab, you hit enter. Now, if I do aws s3 ls, I hit enter. Now I can see that. Now I'll go back and do again. kubectl get port. It did not complain again. I fixed the problem. Now, if this is an interview, I got a job. You see what I'm saying? But if I couldn't fix the problem, I don't have a job. So you see, it's not about the degree I have. It's not about my level of education. It's about what can you do? Can you see a problem and fix it? Of course, I fix the problem right before you. So once you join us, that is how we train you to see something and then do something. You see what I'm saying? Now, this is the Terraform code that was used. You see, this is the main.tf. This is the output block. This is the Terraform block. You're going to learn all of these things. This is not like quote unquote programming. This is just configuration by code. Okay. So don't say that there's programming on it. That is how you are going to be trained here at eTech. And that was the demo that we prepared for you guys today. Now I'm going to open the floor for any question. If you have any question, I'm going to unmute you guys. If you have any question, you can ask a question. We're going to take question for a few minutes and then we're going to close. Any question? Any question? Yes, Engineer Derek. Now, just so you know, we have a name that we baptize you. We want to we call you engineer. So once we give you Engineer Derek, see yourself in the mirror as an engineer. And if you look at it critically, there's no engineer that is broke. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. I wish to ask with the present evolution of this AI. So because AI has come and many people are losing their jobs, so how will a DevOps engineer stand a chance to continue working without getting
Laid off. Now,
getting laid off?
this is the good news. You'll be surprised what I want to say now. You are going to be the one causing other people to be laid off. It's because of you that people are going to be laid off. Why? Because you are going to be supporting that AI product that is laying off people. Is that what I'm saying? Now, those who are going to be affected, this AI stuff, their applications, right? Their apps. You see what I'm saying? So those who are going to be impacted heavily by this AI, for example, I'll just quote an example: truck drivers, fast food workers, receptionists, okay? You have even delivery driver, mostly those who deal on driving, those who deal on
Warehouse.
warehousing, you know, even in hospitals, they're going to have a problem. They're going to reduce the amount of nurses that they recruit. This LPN, all those nurses, they're going to be reduced drastically. So technically, AI is going to be everywhere. You see what I'm saying? Nannies, they're going to replace nanny with robots. You see what I'm saying? There's not going to be any. There's a robot that can take care of a baby more than you. You know what I'm saying? Because the robot understand how a baby feels. So there's going to be AI such a way that food delivery is going to be taken over. Fast food workers, delivery drivers, warehouse workers, some people like some nurses, some people in the hospital are going to be kicked out because they don't need them again. You see what I'm saying? Now, there's something called lab on chip. So there's something called micro pumps. Okay, that micro pumps, they are going to install AI tools on it that if they insert it into the body, it connects to your nervous system. It can regulate insulin, can regulate blood pressure. Right? It is there. You see what I'm saying? And then if something goes wrong, it sends message to a doctor. Some people will be scared. It sends message to a doctor already without you needing to talk to anybody. You see what I'm saying? Now, people like lawyers, what are they going to be doing? So people like drivers, what are you going to be doing? So ask yourself, by 2030, 5 years from now, it's going to be worse. Just so you know, it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. But but you say it now, people don't really care. But you see how people are complaining about. You see, the crime rate is increasing in the world, frustration is increasing in the world. You're having wars. It's because of AI. But nobody can tell you that AI is eating the market. There's no job, right? People are struggling to make ends meet because they are not able to find jobs. They're not able to find jobs because the thing has replaced it. Now, how can you escape that? You learn DevOps. You learn all these beautiful skills. Those AIs are running on infrastructure. If that infrastructure goes down, the thing cannot work again. Now they need to, AI will never replace a DevOps engineer, never. Because you are the one responsible to support the life cycle of that AI tool. You see what I'm saying? And you as a DevOps engineer can even use AI to become more powerful at your job. So to your question, a DevOps engineer is sound and safe for the next 20 years. You're not going anywhere. You see what I'm saying? You're not going anywhere. And the beauty is you can do a switch. All you need is a laptop, internet connection, create time. If you don't create time, it's never going to happen. Create time to study 3 hours a day. That is all. Just 3 hours a day, and you're going to make it. Any other question?
Okay.
Yes, Engineer Felix.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for training. According to you, we are not going to write any code in DevOps. Then how can we get the code that we need, at least in some of the program that we need to do?
Now,
how can we generate the code?
Now, when you say code, right, it is spelled CODE, right? It has the same spelling, but it has different types. You see what I'm saying? Now, there is the application code, which is written by developers. You are not going to work by yourself, you're going to work in a team. There's application code written by developers. You see what I'm saying? Then there's infrastructure code written by you. So we are going to teach you how to write infrastructure code. We're going to teach you how to write CI/CD pipeline code. The one that is tedious is the application code, which is handled by the dev team, developer. That's their job. And they have problem now because of AI. So I'm saying AI is taking over code writing for those guys. So now they have to shift into dev. Don't have any choice. They have to learn operation. AI cannot replace operation. You know why? Example, an EC2 instance is a server that runs in AWS. Now, for some reason, that EC2 instance just shut down. Do you think there's an AI that will go to AWS and connect and bring it back up? It's not there. That has to be done by a human being like you. That is why you are always going to be relevant. So to your question, you are going to learn how to write code, but not the type of code that we're talking about, not application code. You're going to be writing infrastructure, CI/CD monitoring. We don't really call it programming. We call it script. It's a script. You see what I'm saying? But it is a code, but we call it script. When you say programming, somebody tends to feel like, okay, I'm going to write in code. When some people, when they see code, their brain is started to twist like that. They just feel battered. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, we don't call it, we're going to call it script. That's the right way. So we're going to be writing script. It can be bash script, Python script, it can be a Terraform script, Ansible script, cloud formations. We want to call it script. That's the language we're going to use so that we don't get confused. But your script is going to be working on a code, a program that is written by another team. Now, you as an engineer, you are going to be able to operate code that were not written by you. For example, if I show you the Python code that is powering this search API engine, you are going to be able to understand how it works. You see what I'm saying? There's difference between somebody understanding how something works and somebody that conceptualize that thing. You get the difference. That's the difference. Yeah. Another question? Another question? Oh yes, Engineer Derek.
Okay, thank you. I wish to ask someone from Africa or maybe based in Africa, taking into consideration that most of these companies, these IT companies, are not based in Africa. So somebody from Africa learning DevOps, how would that person maybe land a job, or maybe would the person be forced to travel abroad, or how can that person land a job studying DevOps? Imagine maybe I'm in Cameroon. Imagine I'm in Cameroon, and there are no these companies of IT that are not there in Cameroon. So how will I, as a DevOps engineer, how do I land a job so easily without traveling outside?
Yeah, so
Thank
that's a
you.
good question, right? That's a good question. We have engineers that took this course from Douala, from Boya. Now, it is a preference. It depends on you. If you are in Cameroon or you're in an African country, you learn these skills, you have options. Okay. Now, those who don't want to travel, some people they don't want to travel. There are companies in Cameroon. They don't advertise it because they don't believe that you know these things. You see what I'm saying? They don't believe it. If you go to MTN,
Yeah.
you go to Camtel, you go to Nestle, you go to Chococam, there are DevOps engineers there, but they are white guys. There are people, not even white guys, maybe some people from foreigners. They are there because they don't believe in somebody coming from Ndokoti can write Terraform code. How does that person know about Terraform? You see what I'm saying? I know you see what I'm talking about. So the system
That's
is the issue.
good.
You see what I'm saying? So when they see you now with all
Ah,
the but where did you learn this thing? Which university in Cameroon? Is it University of Boya? Is it University of Soa? They will finish you with Benoli's principle. That's not serving you anything. You see what I'm saying? So what is the issue is if you are not willing to travel, but what we have seen, most of our engineers, they go. We have somebody that took the course in Douala, the person is in France right now as we speak. You see what I'm saying? So some people they go to
okay.
Europe, some people they apply in Canada. Canada is another country that is very open for skilled workers. This is a skilled worker. You can apply there and get a job from Cameroon. You can apply in Europe and get a job. Now, if you're somebody they say you don't want to travel, apply in MTN, apply in Orange, apply in all those companies that you see there. Even the how they call it, Sonara, they have DevOps engineers. How do they do those things? It is all on application. You see what I'm saying? Go down and apply. The way you're going to answer them is, how did you know this thing? This is the good news. You will let some of these things we talk on one-on-one, right? We have the tool you need. You don't need to worry. Just focus on studying. We have the we have
Okay.
the, we have the game plan which we are going to use with you for you to be successful. Even if you are in Czechoslovakia or even if you are in whatever place you are, you can still be successful with this training program. No question about it, no doubt about it. 100% sure. Anywhere you are in the world with these skills, you cannot go without a job unless you stop functioning. If you keep going, you are going to get a job. Any other question?
Okay.
And technically, this is what many African government institutions should be promoting. Technical skills, they should be promoting this. But they leave youth, they go to universities, they come out from school, they have master's degree, they are driving Okada, they're driving bikes. But they have because what they learn in school, they wasted time. They wasted time. So if you have your younger ones, they are writing the advanced level, even if they are 18 years, 19 years, right? Or they are 20 years. They should learn something like this. It only takes somebody that knows the power of what we are talking about to make such a decision. You see what I'm saying? Don't go to school and learn social work. You want to learn because one thing that's easy. Once you're done with school, you are going to go to Shomanka. So that's how they say it. I heard that's how they say it in Cameroon. So you have to make sure that you learn things that are going to make you marketable. You need to be marketable. If you're not marketable in this competitive world, you're going to have a serious problem. And if nothing is done, you are going to see crime rates going up, suicide going up, people killing themselves, people becoming thieves, and all those kind of things because there's no way to survive. But this is a way for you to survive at minimal cost. All you need to do is just create 6 months of your time and then you learn. That is all. Than to spend 6 years, you have nothing, than spending 6 months and then you have something. Let me take, we have just like 3 more minutes to go. Any other question?
Wait, just one question.
Mhm.
So on the progression, like job market, what level would be like if you complete this course, what level will you be applying to? Will it be an entry level or will it be I mean, I don't know. What level will you be applying to for the jobs?
Good. Now, that's a good question. That's a very good question. What we show you is equivalent to 6 to 7 years of experience, of enterprise experience. Now, you might not be able to absorb everything, of course. So wherever you absorb determines your level, or wherever you aim determines your level. We have seen people that took the course after 4 months, while they are even still in the course, they got a senior role. It doesn't matter. So when they say somebody is a senior engineer, a mid-level engineer, and a junior, it does not mean it's not a title. It is what you can do. You see what I'm saying? It's what you can do. For example, the thing that just happened here, I ran Keep City Get Port. It gives me error, right? Now, an entry-level engineer might not be able to do it. You see the point? Now you come in now, you say, okay, wait, if you're saying this, because the credentials is not, it has expired. You know exactly where to go to, you know exactly what to do, you know exactly, you really, before you know, under few minutes, it is solved. So do you think you're the same category like someone that's a junior engineer? No. Now, did that mean what that didn't mean that you had something on your name written senior engineer? It is what you can do that distinguish your level. So if there's some problem you can solve, for example, problems that are highly technical, how do you grant a Kubernetes pod access to read and write on an external database? What mechanism will you going to implement? How do you implement it best practice securely? That's a senior problem. Now you went in there, you explain how you use IAM role, you use IS module, you do this, you do that, you connect this, you rotate the credentials. You deserve a senior role. So to everyone, being a senior level, mid-level, junior level endeavor is not about your age. It's not about how you look like. It's not about your education. It's about what level of difficult problem you can solve. Period. That's the answer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So once you're done with this course, know that you are open for any level, right? It all depends on what you want. What you want. Okay. So does that kind of decision we make sure that you are qualified for everything, and then you make a choice to pick where you want to go to. And then if you are confused, you don't know what to do, we can as well give you consultation for free. We can tell you, okay, no, based on we do an interview with you, say based on the way you answer this question, I feel like go for mid-level roles or junior to mid-level roles so that you don't overstress yourself. There are some people that they pull this thing out in 6 months, they are able to hit senior roles. Yes, last question, Engineer Felix.
Yeah, I want to ask a question. I do hear about people working in taxing, ticket. They are creating a ticket or solving a problem in ticket. I don't know what that means. Can you just
It's
please?
yeah, it's very, very easy. That ticket
Okay,
is not air ticket, it's not bus ticket. You see what I'm saying?
okay,
So in those kind of companies, you are being paid. They evaluate your performance
okay.
based on the kind of work. So they use those tickets to track your work.
Oh,
Okay. Let's say, for example, a junior engineer was trying to do what I was doing on my screen, and then they hit that error. Then they are not able to solve it. Then they need you, Engineer Felix, as a senior engineer to help them. You will not spend your time to go and show them that thing without ask them to create a ticket and then assign it to you. On the
oh,
ticket, they should specify what the problem. They can even add a screenshot. Once
oh,
they send the ticket to you, you pick the ticket, and then now you say the ticket. We're going to show you Jira. They use Jira for that. We're going to show you Jira. So you use that ticket to show the company that you are valuable. These are the things that I did. This ticket was assigned to me, and I solved this problem. And every ticket, we're going to show you what is story point, what is Kanban board, what is a story point, all those things, epic, story, task. You are going to learn that as part of this module. That is why people don't get Scrum Master job again because they can do their job. You see what I'm saying? Because before you had Scrum Masters, a Scrum Master is on Jira all the time. If you ask a Scrum Master, why is this server not coming up? They will say, excuse me, I'm coming back the next day. They can't fix it because they don't know. So, but you as a DevOps engineer, you can manage Jira. You can do all these things as one human being. That's why they go to Scrum Master, take a slice of their money. Slice of money with cyber security guy, they give it all to you. That's why they pay DevOps engineers a lot of money. You see what I'm saying? It's not by error, it's because of the kind of thing they do. All right, Engineer Rudolph, before you go, do you have any closing remark? Any closing remark? We are done. So if you want to sign up for that call after this demo, all those who register are going to receive a survey automated on your email. You're going to ask you some few questions. Just answer those questions. Want to capture it and get some inside data point. You're going to receive a survey, and then they're going to tell you if you want to sign up, register. You're going to see the email there that you can send your request for registration to that email. We are going to once you get that register, we are going to the program, the schedule, what you are going to learn, and how you're going to learn it, and then we are going to officially kickstart next week. So you're going to get all this information in the mail, in the email. Once you register, you're going to get everything on the email. Yeah, any question in mind, Engineer Udo?
Not really, Engineer Elvis. Thank you for the presentation. It was great. Just want to encourage those who participated that if you have in mind to join, the time is now. Join, and then all the knowledge that we have, everything Engineer Elvis has demoed today and much more is going to be dished out to you. And if you have friends who are interested, get them to join. Sometimes we do offer 1 week or 2 days free, so you just come and see what we're teaching and see if it is really what you want to do. But we encourage you to join, and your life will never be the same again. Thank you, Engineer Elvis.
Um, Engineer Elvis, I have something to quickly say. I remembered you said maybe it's because we are running out of time or so. I remembered you said when we were starting that towards the end we could have a quick look on some LinkedIn roles and all that. So I know I invited at least 10 people who are connected to this directly. About half of them are from Africa and half from this UK. So, and I know that some parts of that LinkedIn roles and then, some benefits that come with it are also inspiring and encouraging. So I don't know, there might not be time for it, but I just thought I should tell you about it. If there is still time, fine. If not, you know when next to do that. Sorry, I can't hear you. I'm muted, Engineer Elvis.
Yeah, so we're going to do that in class. We're going to do that in class, yeah. But there are a lot of if there are a lot of roles out there, if you go to LinkedIn, you're going to see. If you type LinkedIn, you type DevOps engineer UK, you're going to see those jobs. Africa, everywhere you are, you're going to see those roles. So for the LinkedIn, now just before we go, right, we are going to have another demo, another webinar like this. We're going to be having webinar practically once a month. You know what I'm saying? So people can, the course is really design. You can join. We're going to have another webinar again. So next webinar is going to be a different demo, not such API, going to be something else, just something very small, right? So keep encouraging your loved ones to join. They can sign up. They can sign up for the course. They can even come and maybe sit for maybe 1 week and then see how the thing goes. If they like what they see, then they sign up. If they don't like what they see, it's fine. But we can open it up so that people can come in and then see 1 week, and then if that's what they can sign up. Okay, closing up, Engineer Sona.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Elvis. I just wanted to say that it's not only LinkedIn. You can go to Google and just type DevOps jobs, and you're going to see for yourself. They're out there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. So it is open. You go to Google, wherever you go, just type it there. You're going to see it. You're going to see it. Anywhere you type it, ask Google, how much do they pay DevOps engineer in your area or in UK or in London? You're going to see the salary there. It's not hidden. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys so much. And we hope to see you on the other side, which is the training hall. And we are going to work with you guys to make sure that